I want to talk about the writing activity this week. It's writing a press release. These are fun because they are promotional writing, so you're being really audience aware and you're teaching the audience something about an event going on with whatever organization you want. So you're persuading, it's that promotional outreach, but then you're also being very informative because you're assuming your audience doesn't know anything about this event. So you're being detailed and clear. Clear, concise writing as always, and they have a very strict format in how they look. So we'll go over it. I'm going to talk about the guidelines first, the topic for this press release, and then I have a PowerPoint that I think will be very helpful for when you draft this to generate ideas on what to write. So I'm going to talk about the topic first. Your organization had the perfect event planned. You've been planning for months. You're excited. You can't wait to share the event details with the general public because press releases are sent to the general public. Just when you're about to send the press release, you're ready. It's maybe Friday and you're like, oh, we're almost at Friday. I'm going to send this press release out. I'm going to promote this event. It's going to be so fun. Then you find out this thing called COVID is creeping into the world and it's taking over everyone's plans. So you need to adapt. You must now host the event virtually through Zoom. I'm saying Zoom, but if you know a cooler platform, whatever you want, I'm just saying virtually through Zoom to help you. But you have to host the event virtually regardless. You got to change your plans. So the public didn't even know about this event that you were so excited to share them with. So now you have to tell them about this event and why it's going virtual as well. So your topic is to write a press release, to inform and persuade the audience about the following. First, you got to tell them about the event itself because you didn't even get a chance to send this press release out. So they need to know what this event is. Second, about how it's changing to going virtual. Your audience doesn't know about the event, so they need to know what it is and about it going virtual. The audience press releases are to the general public, so they should be clear, concise, short sentences. General public, so everybody understands what you're talking about. And you are persuading and informing because you want them to go, so that's the persuasion part, but you also are informing them on what the event is as well, the details. The genre, it's formatted as a press release. Write these on Word or Google Docs only. And it should be formatted exactly like that sample. There's a really nice sample of it in the book. So make sure it looks, in terms of, that topic is different, but what I mean by that is just format it how it looks in the book. And then I have a PowerPoint, like I said, that's going to help you as a checklist too to make sure you have everything. And then once you see this video, there will be a grading rubric below this assignment. Once you work on the assignment, you'll see the grading rubric. So let's talk about this. Talk about this press release. I usually do these about any type of event, but I want to make it relevant to what we're dealing with, so that way you can practice how to adapt to changes in the workplace as well. So let's talk about writing a press release. Topic, again, for this assignment, you are going to write a press release that persuades and informs the audience about an event. Again, these get sent to the general public as well. You have to assume they also don't know anything about the event or the organization you're representing. I forgot to say something. Hold on. If your newsletter, I recommend that you do write this press release with the same organization that you're representing for the newsletter because you're already thinking about that organization with the newsletter, so it could kind of help you branch off and get started, I think. And then, like I said, you're already thinking about that organization. Some of you all are representing yourself for the newsletters, so you're thinking, I'm not an organization. Well, what's an event that you would want to host at your house? A birthday? A game night? A cooking night? What else? What's like a cool, any kind of, maybe what are they doing now? The people driving by the houses for the virtual events now. A baby shower, any kind of cool event that you want to represent yourself, that could be something. If you like what I just said and you're not representing yourself in the newsletter project and you want to do that for this press release, you can. That's fine. You don't have to have the same topic for this class. You can adapt to changes. I get bored easy, so I like to change topics. To each their own, but that's just a little note. You can represent any organization you want. This is a separate thing than a newsletter, but if it helps, you're already thinking about the organization from the newsletter, you just want to continue with that mindset, that's fine. But obviously you're writing something entirely different with this press release, but if you want to represent yourself in just a little home event that you're doing, that's fine too. So I just wanted to let you know. Always open topic in here, and no topics have to carry over to any of the assignments. It's just entirely up to you. I had a student who wanted to run and start his own business, so he made all the topics about that business, but you all do not have to. All right. Genre, press release format. We'll talk about that in the end of this lecture. So what is a press release? It informs and persuades the audience. It uses clear, concise writing. It covers something called the 5 W's. That's more of a journalistic approach. We'll talk about that in the next slide. It uses that continuous decreasing order of importance. The most important information first, second most important, least important. Why? Because you want your audience to be interested. And if they're interested, the most important information should catch their attention first. And then by the time they get to the bottom of it, they're already persuaded. So that's why they kept reading. It's audience aware because you're informing the audience about what this event is, who your I'm going to change that to organization. I don't like that. About the organization. But also persuades the audience about the topic presented as well. All right, I talked about those 5 W's. 5 W's are used in journalism, but they're essential because they're very audience aware. They are who, what, where, when, and why. So keep those in mind when you're talking about the event. Let's talk about that. If writing a press release that informs and persuades, the audience about your organization's event, then answer these questions, which is what you're doing. That's your topic. Who is the event for? Who is hosting it? That's informative, right? What is the event about? What is happening at the event? Informative. Where will the event take place? Think about the physical location and city as well. You want to be detailed, right? Because the audience doesn't know. When will the event occur? Day, time, and year. All right. Up to you when you want this event to occur. Maybe it's a when COVID is over party, so it'll be in 2050. Just kidding. God. Fingers crossed that we don't have to face that in all seriousness. Why is the event happening? And why should your audience go? That's the persuasive part. So those are the 5 W's. All right, so paragraph 1 of these press releases. Start the sentence, the very, very sentence of the paragraph, with the place and date of the press release. Where is this press release written? Place, meaning city, and the date. When is this press release being sent out to the general public? That's up to you. Maybe the due date of this assignment, but it's up to you. Put all critical information in the first paragraph. So that's where you're considering those 5 W's because that's the critical information of the event summarized. So actually, sorry, I changed that. Let me get rid of this. Ignore that. Sorry, y'all, I have to do these on PowerPoint so I can catch my errors. Think of the 5 W's. Think of the 5 W's. Okay, there we go. When writing about the event, think of the 5 W's for that paragraph 1, then use the decreasing order of importance. So again, most important information is first. Okay, so let's continue with paragraph. So paragraph 1, how should you start your press release and what should that first paragraph be about is important. If the audience is confused or loses interest, they won't continue. So if it's electronic, they'll delete it. If it's sent to their mail, they'll throw it out. So when writing about the event, include the following in paragraph 1. The audience needs to know what the event is. What is it? What is it called? And why is it happening? Discuss the who. Who is the event for and who is hosting it? They need to know where the event is taking place and when. This paragraph is summary, but it's important because it includes all of the 5 W's. What, why, who, where, when. This above information should be no longer than 50 words. So it's a very brief 5Ws paragraph. It's just quick information about the 5Ws by covering each of these bullet points. Because then if they're not interested and it doesn't really pique their interest, they won't continue to read, but we want to keep them to continue to read. So we want to be clear in paragraph 1. We really want to stress too why, but we're going to go into detail of it regardless. So paragraph 1 is just the 5Ws. Hey, this event's going on. This is why. So then when they move on to paragraph 2 and 3, these are detailed paragraphs. These are called body paragraphs and have the following. So discuss all of this and more. Discuss event details. Basically, take this 50-word paragraph and break it down into detail into at least two paragraphs. Why should the audience attend this event? That's that persuasive angle. What's so important about them going? What's the benefit of them attending for you and them? What's the history of this event? Meaning, has it occurred in the past? Or is it a brand new event that's never happened? So why is it happening now? This is a really great point of where you can write about how in the past it was in person and has occurred before in the past, and also that virtual aspect of why it's changing to be virtual and why. So that's something new as well. Do other organizations host something similar? Again, even if you're just representing yourself, do other people do events like this? Whether, that virtual aspect or just in general, the event itself. Do other people have birthday parties? Things like that, regardless of whether you're representing yourself or an organization. Just discuss. You don't have to mention organization names, but just, is this a random event that you created and it doesn't exist out there? Or is it a common occurrence for others to host an event similar? Who else is attending this event? And why is the event at this location? Why is this happening virtually? That's where you can really cover that virtual aspect as well. The order of these is up to you. Kind of ask yourself, okay, which paragraph should cover these questions first? What's the most important information? I always think the why, because that's that persuasive part. And then the closing information, about who else is attending. And, just the details of why it's virtual is that closing point. But that's the decreasing order of importance that you think is vital. So just include detailed information about the 5Ws in paragraph 2 and 3. Last paragraph, you don't want to end there because it's kind of random. You want to assume your audience doesn't know anything about this organization. Your audience may not know anything about your organization, so you want them to trust that you are an established group. It's virtual. You want to trust them to join this event. So this paragraph should summarize who your organization, company, whatever is, when it was established, and what their mission is. Think of last week when you practiced company, mission, and vision statements. You can include the mission statement, the vision statement, both, whatever you think is relevant. If you feel vision statements are even more important for right now because of COVID, you're looking out to the future, maybe just the vision statement. Okay, now this is kind of weird if you're representing yourself. You don't have a vision statement. Well, why should the audience trust you? This closing paragraph should be your confidence that you are a trustworthy person. Do you host cool events in the past? Do you know how to work Zoom or whatever platform it's on? That's that trust as well. How are you going to send them the information? Just that confidence, that ethos that we talk about, the credibility is the closing paragraph. These are short, the closing paragraph, 5 sentences or so. So that's about it. Now let's talk about the genre of a press release. Press releases are writing genres. They should look a certain way to meet we call them conventions. So use all of the following when drafting one. 1-inch margins, that's the standard margin that Word and Google Docs set. That just is the standard format, so you shouldn't have to change that at all. You can leave that as is. Use bold for titles and headings. I don't think you'll have section headings in this because they're not that long, but you want to title it something before you start writing the paragraphs. So whatever that title is, make sure it's bolded. And I even am going to say bold, use bold and center for titles. Whatever your title of the press release is, make sure it's under 30 characters. Characters are the word count and space count. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get it, right? Under 30 characters. You don't want them too long. Double space your paragraphs. It makes it clear. It makes it easy to read when your audience is reading through it. If you need help double spacing something, just send me an email. I can easily show you how to do that. If they go into 2 pages, at the bottom of page 1, type this exactly, dash more dash, because it lets the audience know to continue to read. And center that at the bottom of page 1. Add a space between that last paragraph, and then center more, bottom page 1. If it's just 1 page, again, center at the bottom, dash, end, dash. Center bottom page 1. That tells them that it's the end. That's really important, so don't skip that. Again, look at the sample in the book. They have a really great guide for that as well. So that's what you're thinking about. Again, open topic, whatever you think you would want to try out for this event. Just, I think it gives you more to write with if you explain what the event initially is anyways, and also why it's going virtual. That's something that can give you more to write with as well.